Now I know a lot of you've been waiting for this video. We all knew. Everybody was tweeting me. Everybody knew I was going to talk about this. It was not any sort of secret. And I've already talked about it in my initial sort of, it's almost a reaction video after San Diego Comic-Con. I also had a stream in which I went on a long rant about this, so you can most definitely check that out. But of course, I have to do an isolated video where this is the only thing that I discuss, and that is tokenized Thor. Ah, man. Where do I start with this? It's, all right, one of my gripes, and I would argue one of my biggest gripes about this whole situation, is that it's a reminder of what happened with the Captain Marvel thing, right? Not so much the shoehorn, because that was uniquely done in terms of Captain Marvel. Also have a video titled The Unique Shoehorn of Captain Marvel. If you like, you can check that out. But when I say repeating the same mistakes, that is goofy character, nobody asked for. Everybody, for the most part, was like, what the fuck? And by everybody, I mean, yes, there are outliers that were like, oh, Jane Foster's Thor is okay, it's fine. But if that were the case, she'd still be Thor. Nobody was buying that book. Normies don't buy comic books. We've talked about this before. And yes, much like Captain Marvel, you are going to find people that are going to support this nonsense out of spite. And by that, I mean that because there was such a loud community of individuals that were against the whole Carol Danvers thing, I was leading the charge on that. You're going to get people that are also rising from this. Same idea, not a fan of tokenized Thor. Yet people that Googled her existence 5 minutes after it was announced, because again, nobody asked for this. It was not a demand for female Thor. Jane Foster's Thor. There's no demand for that. They, much like they didn't know who Carol Danvers was, they didn't know who this character was. Googled her probably 5 minutes after and was like, oh, I'm going to support this out of spite. And this is why I said in my stream, if you own, like myself, some of the other comics like Mighty Thor or Thor Volume 4, if I'm not mistaken, with her, you can flip that and make a buku amount of money, just like you could with 2012 Captain Marvel. Considering that normies want to act like they want to feel like they belong, like they want to feel like they're a part of things, just so they can act like they have some legitimate opinion on this subject matter. So this is a chance to make money. Those comments are going to be worth a lot. The initial like first issue sort of shits. So by all means, go grab those for sure. But it reminds me of that situation because it was the character that nobody asked for. And what they've done, instead of just bringing in a newer, fresher female character, they have to piggyback off of the previous male characters. This is what Carol Danvers was in Marvel, and that was criminal because they shat on Marvel and Monica Rambeau, two original characters. Though Monica Rambeau has the name Captain Marvel, she's not a copy of Marvel, much like Miss Marvel, then now Captain Marvel is. She had nothing to do with Marvel. She's no connection to the career, anything like that. That is sort of what we're getting here with tokenized Thor, where nobody asked for the character, yet they're bringing her in. And I have been leading the charge, and this is why I think that I'm getting trolled at this point, because I was the one that has been leading the charge against Jane Foster for the longest, right? You can go check all my YouTube videos saying that they should have killed this character off a long time ago. First and foremost, she really should have never become anything other than Jane Foster. She was cool as a sort of a doctor, side character. That's perfectly fine. There's nothing wrong with being that, but it was almost like Jason Aaron took a bet or something with somebody and was like, I bet I can make this character likable, right? Or more so make this character into like this sort of prominent figure. Because what they've done with Jane Foster is all out of whack. I'm talking her becoming Thor, stupid. Again, female Thor is dumb. It doesn't make any sort of sense. His name is his name, right? And that's him, right? That you can't beat Thor, right? There's all sorts of female Asgardians that you can go with. yet for whatever reason we have a tokenized Thor. Nonetheless, she's supposed to die from cancer. Out of all of that shit, she doesn't die. She becomes All Mother of Asgard in the War of the Realms. Now she's Valkyrie. Like, what the fuck are we doing, Jason Aaron? And Jason Aaron, it was almost like he's knowing, again, I've been leading the charge on this. He's knowing that people are saying things like this. And when I say I'm leading the charge, I'm not trying to be on some arrogant shit. I'm just saying, like, if you read that latest issue of Avengers and she's beating up on the troll, not She-Hulk is actually, when he's like, Thor is his name, right? You basically can't pass that along. It was sort of the rhetoric, some of the same rhetoric guys like myself have been using, right? And they do that all the time. It was the same thing with Thor, and they've been doing it in the War of the Realms, where they got to write in Thor co-signing female Thor, right? Because fiction writers do this shit all the time, right? Get a prominent character that everybody likes, and you know you got a bad idea, but have him legitimize it, so filter it through the character, even though it's stupid. They've done that, right? This character should have been killed off a long time ago. Nobody has asked for a female Thor. Nobody. Nobody's asking for that. It's a shit book. Thor and Mighty Thor were shit books. It was a shit concept. It was a joke. Went way too far, and it's still going way too far. But when you consider the list of characters, this is why it's unacceptable, and I will fight against this time and time and time and time again, because Marvel has now access with considering the licenses and all of this shit with X-Men and all this. We know they're coming in the future. There is no excuse to have to bring copycat heroes. Now you got two prominent heroes that are about to try to sort of be seemingly, I don't know, it's instant to the front. We already got Captain Marvel based off of Marvel, copycat, tokenized character. Now we're getting tokenized Thor. Scarlet Witch is getting her own show with Vision, but in the same respects, what the fuck is this? Now that you certainly have access to these characters, why didn't we get just all of the original female heroes that exist, right? Now, because you have X-Men, you can have Jean Greys of the world, and I get that that's maybe a little too soon, a little more complicated when you consider some of them that have been part of like the X-Men in terms of Jean Grey. Right now, who else? Storm, shit like that. But you can at least bring in like Kitty Pryde or Rogue or something like that. Psylocke, whereas Enchantress, Wolfsbane, Dazzler, Magic, Emma Frost, Danny Moonstar, which would have been the obvious thing because that could have been your connection with Valkyrie. We get female Thor. No Silver Sable. Could have brought in Elektra, could have brought in Moondragon, which I was advocating long before the Captain Marvel shit. I was like, if there was a female prominent hero with powers that you wanted to bring in because you didn't want to get behind Black Widow, who doesn't have powers, and you certainly didn't want to get behind Scarlet Witch, which I still don't understand this to this day, you could have brought in Moondragon. Now, I'm not saying that she's just uber popular character. It would have made more sense in the art. And again, she's original. So you could have brought in Moondragon. She's not a copy of another character, right? That could have been your connection to bring in Fala Vale as well. Could have did Captain Marvel right. Could have brought in his daughter, right? Could have did it right. Still, we got tokenized Captain Marvel, and then we got tokenized Marvel because they turned him into a female in the movie, just for the sake of boosting up a tokenized version of Marvel. So none of those characters, original characters, got brought up, right? Could have brought in any of the newer Agents of Atlas, all of these new fresh characters that you're sitting on now, with Luna Snow, White Fox, Wave, Arrow, Crescent. You bring it in Shang-Chi, so I guess you can bring in Swordmaster and shit like that as well. But you have this list of just original Asian female characters that you could have. Well, Swordmaster's not female, right? I sort of just went on a tangent of the New Agents of Atlas. But Arrow, Wave, and White Fox, Luna Snow, you could have brought in those. Instead, we get tokenized Thor. The Thor that nobody asked for. And then it's gonna be a repeat of what happened last time with Captain Marvel. You're gonna get people like myself that come out against it. You're gonna get other individuals. Oh, you have so many problems with female characters. What is it with you guys? And I want to see strong female leads. Like, who gives a fuck about any of that, right? Nobody's arguing against having prominent female heroes. We're just saying, can we get some original ones? Not copies of other characters. And this is canon, yes, because it happened. But this is, again, another recent phenomena. This is another recent phenomena, just like Captain Marvel. That was 2012. I believe it was 2014 when they brought in female Thor. So these recent phenomena, we got a long, luxurious history of female characters that Marvel has at their disposal. Yet for whatever reason, we are getting tokenized versions of male characters. I don't understand that. I don't get that. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't. There's just way too many original female heroes that you could just pick from. Just pick them. Just pick the original female heroes that already exist. Some are mutants, some are not, but just pick them. Why the fuck are we getting another tokenized character? So now y'all got two tokenized. Like, this is not, there's some good things that were announced recently by way of Marvel, but this is not one of them. This is a terrible decision. And like I say, this is your chance to monetize some of these normies that, again, they always got to be part of the conversation. They Google some fandom site real quick to figure out everything they can find out about this character. None of them own the comic. So this is your chance. If you want to flip some of those comics, you could probably make a lot of money off of these normies. But holy shit, nobody asked for this. And it just makes no sense. It's not an excuse. It's not like this is a high demand tokenized character. This isn't She-Hulk, which is a tokenized character, but at least she's sort of more favored, right? And she's existed for a while. This isn't that. We're getting a recently new phenomena that nobody asked for. And they're not bringing in original characters. I just want to put this in perspective. What got confirmed, maybe these characters show up later, but what got confirmed before Beta Ray Bill and Eric Masterson's Thor or Thunderstrike, what got confirmed before them was a Jane Foster Thor. We're getting, before Thunderstrike, before Beta Ray Bill, we're getting Jane Foster's Thor with Natalie Portman, who I don't feel like can act that well, but that's neither here nor there. I've said time and time again, it doesn't matter to me who acts the role, as long as they can act the role and they look the part. I don't give a shit about any of that. But we've seen what she can do, and this is a terrible idea all around. Not just with her acting, but with the character alone, which has nothing to do. So she's doomed for failure. If we're gonna be 100, she's doomed for failure. And I thought she was out of the Marvel Cinematic Universe anyway. I thought she was done with this shit. Apparently not. It's the cash grab at this point because they can't do any wrong. And this is why it's so inexcusable for them to do shit like this and not bring in original characters, because they have all of this money. And now they have the normies they got them by the nutsack. If we're going to be completely honest, they can do whatever the fuck they want. They could bring in whatever characters they want and they're going to eat it up. So why not bring in original characters that already exist? Why are we getting tokenized ones? What's the point? Holy shit, this is long. And again, it's just like with the tokenized, like the black characters, right? If you're a female and you're championing this, I'm telling you, what are you doing, bro? What is this? Like, the characters that they're giving you in the name of diversity and representation, which is stupid concepts as they are. But instead of giving you original female characters, just they're giving you they're based off of original white male characters. It's the same thing with the black characters. The vast majority of the black characters outside of outside of Black Panther family, they're all tokenized versions of other heroes. Now Falcon seems like he's about to be tokenized Captain America, so he's not even original anymore. God forbid he stay original. God forbid that. The two black Asgardians, which make no sense. Mind you, everybody's always like, when you say, hey, why don't we turn Black Panther into a white person? They're always like, oh, that doesn't make sense. He's from Africa. Even though the damn Asgardians, they're not saying shit about that, even though the damn Asgardians are based off of Norse mythology, which is the whitest thing you can possibly think of. But yeah, we got tokenized Valkyrie and tokenized Heimdall in Idris Elba. You could say what you will about you guys as Rhodey and War Machine. He was brought in, and before he ever became War Machine, he was tokenized Iron Man. And all he is as War Machine is tokenized Iron Man. I know that's going to piss some of y'all off. Nick Fury. Ultimate Universe Nick Fury is just a black copy of fucking Nick Fury that's always existed. That's why his name is Nick Fury. Tokenized Nick Fury, not original. They bring him into the current universe, and it makes no sense. But the white, and again, this is what it is now in terms of the continuity. They brought in another one that looks like Samuel L. Jackson, right? Which was based off the other one from the other universe. But they brought him into the main universe, and now though he's the son of the white one. As black as he is, he's the son of the white Nick Fury. Not original. And these motherfuckers be talking about representation like, damn, all of these original blacks Marvel heroes that you guys got, and the vast majority of the ones that exist are tokenized. And now you got two now in the forefront of that seemingly are going to be put in the forefront, female characters, because for whatever reason they act like they don't want Scarlet Witch to be as powerful as Scarlet Witch should be. Now they got female Thor and Captain Marvel. Both of them are based off original white. Well, Captain Marvel's Kree, but they're basically based off of original male heroes. So they're both unoriginal copies, tokenized characters. It's not an excuse, and I feel like now more than ever, Marvel's feet should be held to the fire when it comes to these consumers, because they have all the money in the world and they can't do any wrong. And now they have access to all of these characters considering the licensing. There is no excuse to be tokenizing characters. It's no excuse. But I know you're going to continue to get these characters. I called this shit. I have a video talking about this. Did I not call it? I have a video talking about this. You're going to get characters that nobody asked for, that are based off of other characters. You're probably getting Ironhide and everybody's favorite new tokenized character in Miles Morales. Both unoriginal characters, just copies of previously established white characters, male characters. You're going to get those. You're going to get them. Plus some other goofy characters. But it's just, I don't know what it is. And it's so as long as they know that they can lure you with the idea of representation and diversity. Oh, look at all the little kids that'll see themselves now. Now that there's a female Thor, they can see themselves. It's not for you. Oh, it makes me sick. There were some good things that came out of San Diego Comic-Con, but tokenized Jane Foster's Thor is not one of them. Terrible decision. Get a grip, Marvel.